Welcome back to Harlots of Spooktalk, where the podcast where history, mystery, and the supernatural collide. Tonight, we're headed deep into the haunting heart of New Orleans, a city known for its rich culture, powerful spiritual traditions, and cemeteries that took more than cities for the dead. Our story takes us to the shadowy gates of St Patrick's Cemetery, number 2, where rows above ground tombs hold generations of history and, according to many visitors, something more.
That's right. Established in the 1800s for the growing Irish immigrant population, St. Patrick's Cemetery Number 2 became the final resting place for countless people who came to America seeking a better life, but instead faced disease, poverty, and tragedy. Today, its towering marble vaults and narrow stone pathways stand as a reminder of the lives that once filled the streets of New Orleans.
But this cemetery isn't just known for its history. Over the years, visitors and paranormal investigators have reported ghostly figures walking between the tombs, strange voices echoing through the
Mausoleums?
yeah, there you go, and shadows that seem to move when no one is there. Some even claim the spirits of those buried here never truly left.
So, tonight we're diving into the history, the legends, and the chilling paranormal stories surrounding one of the New Orleans' most fascinating burial grounds. From deadly yellow fever outbreaks to mysterious apparitions seen among the graves, this is the haunting story of St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2.
So dim the lights, grab your favorite spooky drink.
And step with us into the city of the dead.
This is Harlots of Spooktalk. Talk, talk.
Oh, you think you got away?
Before we get started, let's take a walk through the graveyard. Look at the surroundings, what's around it, and let's take a walk through it. Join us. First, we start at Sacred Grounds Coffee House, where you can get coffee and look at a graveyard. It has a special little shop about it. Nothing too eerie. And remember this, we'll talk about this later. Now let's go.
Today, we're traveling to one of the most mysterious burial grounds in the United States, the historic St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2. Located in the heart of New Orleans, this cemetery is one of 3 Irish Catholic cemeteries that sit side by side near Canal Street. But beneath its withered stone tombs and iron gates lies a history of tragedy, immigration, deadly epidemics, and a story that some say proved the dead here never truly left.
The cemetery was established in the 1840s, a time when thousands of Irish immigrants were arriving in New Orleans. Many of these immigrants had fled poverty and famine in Ireland, hoping to start new lives in America. Unfortunately, they often found instead were dangerous working conditions, poverty, and deadly diseases. And because of that, St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2 quickly became a resting place for many members of the city's Irish community.
One of the reasons New Orleans cemeteries look so different from most cemeteries in the US is because of the city's geography. So, New Orleans sits below sea level, surrounded by water and swampland. If people were buried underground, coffins would literally rise to the surface during floods. Because of this, the city develops its famous above ground burial vaults, creating what locals call cities of the dead. So, rows of the stone tombs line St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2, forming narrow corridors that feel more like streets than burial plots, as you can see in the videos below.
Many of the people buried in St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2 were Irish immigrants who arrived in the mid 1800s. They worked some of the most dangerous jobs in the city, digging canals, building railroads, and performing heavy labor in the Louisiana heat. Many died very young. Some historians believe hundreds of Irish workers died during the construction of the new Basin Canal, a project so deadly that workers reportedly called the Irish Channel.
Diseases was another constant threat. During the 1800s, New Orleans experienced devastating outbreaks of yellow fever. Yellow fever killed thousands of residents in repeated epidemics throughout the 19th century. Immigrants were especially vulnerable because they had not built up immunity to the disease. Many victims were buried quickly in cemeteries like St. Patrick's number 2, sometimes in mass burials during the worst outbreaks.
Because of these tragedies, the cemetery holds countless stories of lives cut short. Families buried multiple children, entire immigrant communities were wiped out within weeks. This deep history of sudden death and sorrow is one reason paranormal investigations believe the cemetery may hold lingering spiritual energy.
It says Tiffany.
I know I lost it, sorry.
Architecture.
I know where we're at. Okay. So walking through St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2 feels like stepping into another era. Instead of grassy burial plots, visitors see rows of white stone vaults, mausoleums?
Yes.
And towering statues. Oh, cool, I got it right. Many tombs belong to entire families where coffins are placed inside the vault and sealed. After several years, the remains are moved deeper inside the tomb to make room for future family members.
One of the most striking monuments in the cemetery is a large religious statue depicting the Virgin Mary mourning over the body of Christ. The sculpture has become a halting focal point for visitors. As sunset shadows fall across the marble figures, giving the statue an almost lifelike presence.
So, like many cemeteries in New Orleans, St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2, oh boy, if I took a shot for every time I said this, um, has gained a reputation as haunted location. So, over the years, visitors, locals, paranormal investigators have reported strange experiences within the cemetery grounds. Some say the cemetery becomes especially active after dark.
So, one of the most commonly reported spirits is the apparition of a mysterious woman. Witnesses claim they have seen her walking slowly between the tombs late at night. She appears dressed in old fashioned clothing and seems to drift silently along the pathways. But when people approach her, she vanishes.
Ooh.
That's kind of cool. Other visitors have reported seeing the ghostly figures of young people near the edges of the cemetery. Some believe these could be the spirits of immigrants who died in their teens or early 20s while working dangerous labor jobs. Witnesses say the figures appear briefly and then disappear behind the tomb's walls.
Another eerie phenomenon reported here involves unexplained sounds. People walking near the cemetery at night have claimed to hear soft crying, faint voices, low moaning sounds, even when no one is present. Some say the sounds seem to echo through the stone tomb corridors.
And one of the strangest legends involves a tall marble headstone near the cemetery's outer fence. Drivers passing by late at night have claimed they sometimes see a face appearing in the marble. Some believe it's just shadows and light reflecting across the stone. Others say it's something watching from the cemetery. Bum, bum, bum.
Because New Orleans has a long history of spiritual traditions, some local stories claim the cemetery has been used for occult rituals and seances over the years. New Orleans is also deeply connected to Louisiana voodoo, a spiritual practice blending African, Caribbean, and Catholic beliefs. While there is no confirmed evidence of rituals in the cemetery itself, rumors have circulated for decades that paranormal investigators and spiritual practitioners have attempted to communicate with spirits there.
So, cemeteries, like this particular one, carry intense emotional history, sudden deaths, immigrant tragedy, deathly epidemics, generations of grief, and for some, these places are simply historical landmarks. But for others, they are places where boundary between the living and the dead feels incredibly thin.
So today, St. Patrick's Cemetery number 2 remains a quiet, historic site. Visitors walking past its iron gates may not realize the depth of history buried within those walls.
But according to legend, if you listen carefully while standing among those old tombs, you might hear footsteps behind you or a voice carried through the cemetery streets.
And in a city like New Orleans, sometimes the dead refuse to stay silent.
Gosh.
Before we walk you through our experience from the beginning, I think it was Carly, or I don't know, one of them was talking about how they see the mysterious woman, the apparitions on the marble wall. I don't know if I got it on the camera. I don't know if you'll see it in there, but I feel like I did. And there was the marble wall and it was facing out that we actually got to touch it. You remember how you were like, Carly was like, "Oh, feel this." And I thought she was saying it was soft, but it wasn't soft. It was marbly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like sand, like
Yeah, like
salt,
sand.
Mm-hmm.
salt. Yeah,
So I wonder if that's the same one.
I don't know. It
Wouldn't that be
felt weird.
spooky?
It would be.
But initially, So how did y'all feel walking through it? Like I know we started off getting some coffee, and from there we went on a walk through
Coffee.
coffee.
To me, it was relaxing. It was actually peaceful walking
I,
through
it,
it.
it was neat. Like, I like seeing all the history, and that's fascinating. So it
Yeah,
was historic, and to see what people still do to like keep up the graves, and you know how they,
Yeah, preserve them.
yeah, that was the word.
It was like peaceful. It was like I can't explain it. It was just a moment of peace in that cemetery.
I agree. I felt like I had the same thing. I felt like we finally like slowed down a minute, and I was kind of like getting my grounding in for a little bit. Like we're just getting. I was like looking at the names. I feel like I wasn't in a rush to do anything, and it just felt so USA, like what I don't
Hmm.
wanna keep repeating, "Oh, I felt so calm and at peace," but, that's what it was initially. You just kinda, like, take your time, walk around, you're not in any rush, and then you can kinda look at the names, and I think it was Tiffany that was looking at the dates, and then we had a friend that went with us, and I think she was definitely looking at the dates because while I was walking with her, she was, like, saying the oldest one in there, and I think she said the
Oh,
youngest one.
it was
Yeah.
like 1820
So
something.
there's a wall that y'all will see on there, kinda look like a bunch of boxes, and it has urns and where you can place, like oh, a ladybug. Um, sorry.
Squirrel.
Yeah. You said, "Oh, the zoo?" And she's right here on my computer.
We're
Um,
all here listening, and then she stops. Oh, ladybug.
"Come here, little ladybug. Let me teach
Okay,
you
so,
something.
anyways,
The wall.
squirrel.
The wall.
Let me
Trying to
get the
bring it back.
ladybug for you
Oh
so I
my
can
god.
show you." No, where you give the, um, tributes, what is it called? Where you give it like you're giving
An
s
offering.
yeah, we had that and had, like, the offering wall, and then our friend was like, there's a bunch of different families in these little squares." I'm like, "What?" You know? But I
Mhm.
think it was, like, 1886, I think was the last one we saw, and it'll be on the picture with the little white squares that y'all can go back and rewatch and see. Yeah.
It's big cemetery. I mean, that one was just a part
Mhm.
of it. It went for city blocks.
And we didn't even make it to the other side.
No.
I was ready. I was like, "Let's go. Let's go to the other side." And I was like, "There's another one." And as we're driving, "There's another one. Oh my gosh, there's another one. And there's another one. How many are there? We're surrounded by dead people." You know?
Yes. It's part of the city of the dead there.
Mhm.
It's just city blocks.
But it was definitely calm. I kinda wonder if you did an EVP, if you would really hear something, you know what I mean? Because it was so silent for me.
It
Yeah.
was like the rest of the city was just like blocked out at that point. Like you didn't hear
Mhm.
anything. It was
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it all comes together when you're reading the history of it too.
yeah.
Yellow fever, because that took out little anywhere
A
from
lot.
6 week, a day old, all the way up to 100.
Yeah.
So,
And we did see a few.
mhm.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we see a cat grave too, or was I?
Yeah, it was a cat grave there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That
A
was.
cat grave?
You right in front of a grave, there was a little marker for a cat.
Mhm.
Oh, do you think they were buried with their human?
Mhm.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
It
And then
is. I like
you
it.
and you notice in the cemeteries they had cat food sitting out for the cats around.
Mhm.
Oh no,
The
I
ones
didn't
that,
see.
Yeah.
yeah, the stray ones that roam around.
Yep. They
I
had
was
cat
looking
The
at.
only ones that are allowed in there.
yeah.
I was definitely like looking at the names. I'm like, do I know this person? Does this sound familiar? You know?
No, but there was a lot of people like stones with like headstones with the same last names on them
Mm-hmm.
all over. So it's like, oh, is this one big family? Are they all related or they have no relation? Who knows?
Dude, it looks like go move your head this way.
Yeah, it's a Ninja Turtle. I was looking.
Oh,
It's Michelangelo. It is. It's Michelangelo.
it is. That's
That's
That's funny.
Michelangelo. I'm telling you.
She's all
hey.
having a serious conversation, and we're just looking at the eyes in the background.
I was like singing a Ninja Turtle theme song in my head. I was. Ninja Turtle.
What I learned
Oh,
about
man.
what I learned about Carly this week is that she really is a squirrel. I really had no idea she was really a squirrel. Like she had joked about it. She's like, "No, that's my ADHD," and I'm like thinking, like I know she does, but I don't actually understand that she does until we're there, and she's like, "Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel,
Yeah.
squirrel." So
I
but
do want to be, what is that, a groundskeeper at the cemetery? That would be fun.
I agree.
Imagine living in some of them old cemeteries have gatehouses. Imagine
Mhm.
living in that and taking care of the cemetery.
I would love that until it rained. The
I'll do
second it
it.
starts flooding, I'm out. Like
I think that would
done.
be cool.
I'd
It would
do
be
it in a
quiet.
heartbeat. Yeah.
It would be
All
quiet.
all you would see
Yeah.
is someone arguing with a ghost.
Yeah, pretty much.
If it's not quiet, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm gonna be like,
Guys,
bro.
stop partying back there.
You're
I'd be
supposed
like,
to be resting.
Rest
listen,
in
this
peace.
is not the time nor the place. And then all of a sudden you just see some kind of glass come towards your head and you'd be like, hey, that was out of line, Richard. I saw the short where I was making up like conversations in my head about me being at a cemetery, and I like laughed so hard I might have peed a little. That was freaking hilarious. Like
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
the ADHD one. Seriously.
I I know, but it was
Oh,
now that I'm like now that I seen you in person, I'm like, yeah, she really got some ADHD going on.
And I'm like, how's that mothering thing too going on? If you didn't notice,
I
Thank
know. We were just joking. We're like, okay, Ma.
you.
I told her, I said, can you bring the ibuprofen? Can you bring this for my heartburn until I got it? And she did. And she was like, here's one, here's two of these, here's one of those. But
You
we'll get
need to
into
take
those on
that.
the next
Yeah.
episode so we can do a tell all.
Oh,
But
yeah, we're
oh,
gonna have
man.
to because
Oh,
there are
yeah.
some things we have to tell you about LD, and I'm excited to explain these.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or I'm not going to say concerns because, there should be no concerns. But stay spooky. Bye.
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 Left.
Oh, you think you got away?